Welcome back to Heart Path Podcast. I'm your host, Terra Kenzie Longacre, modern day mystic, oracle, author, transformational and spiritual mentor, and embodiment coach. And in each episode, we're going to cover topics around spirituality, empowerment, divine embodiment, resiliency of the human spirit, and heart-based business and beyond. And in today's episode, we're going to have heart-to-heart conversations about pilgrimage and more specifically to Sedona. So I am joined with three of the ladies that have attended the Heart Path pilgrimage to Sedona in the fall, where we visited these ancient and sacred lands. We're going to be talking about the pilgrimage, but how that was for you and things that you enjoyed about Sedona. Well, and maybe things you didn't enjoy, like how that whole experience was for you. Because I find I find when we share our stories, it almost allows people to look through the world through our lens, or just have their vision opened in a different way to the places or to the experience. So for pilgrimage, it is a more intentional journey to connect with the land. And not that on a retreat you can't have an intentional experience with the land. However, the act of pilgrimage is a spiritual journey. So you're going there with the intention to connect with your spirits, to connect with the spirits of the land, to connect with the divine. That's the whole intention of a pilgrimage. And at times, perhaps the intention isn't to be transformed. It's that spiritual journey or that spiritual connection. However, through it, you are transformed. And I would love to hear perhaps thoughts or reflections of what you thought it would be, or what you anticipated the pilgrimage to Sedona to be, and then what it was for you and how you experienced that. Karen, let's start with you.
My intention when I was going to Sedona was just to, how I said, like open heart, open mind, and just be willing to do whatever I could to figure out the little unknown that I was scared of, if that makes sense. And then getting there from day one, it was a whirlwind, and it was a blessing. And like I said, like I didn't want to go in with any preconceived notions of any of the girls from Zoom. And it was, I think for me to put myself in that mindset, it helped build the friendships and be part of the circle, and to feel more relaxed in myself, knowing that none of them would be intentionally catty, rude, like if we were doing it as a group. So, and it, like, my biggest takeaway is just knowing that there is such a thing as sisterhood without the underlying negativity that comes with being friends with females. And I'm glad I was pushed into doing this, and I'm glad I took that leap. And I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful for that week.
Oh, thank you. And we loved and adore. I can't speak for everyone. I just want to say, like, your humor is intoxicating.
What is my humor?
Yeah. Oh, it was fun.
Well, I met my match in Kim Gong there. So much to the chagrin of the other ladies.
So much laugh. Okay, well, now we have to segue into Kim Gong with that. Like, perfect segue. We have two Kims.
Yeah, cosmic clowns unite. Okay, so remind me of the questions again. So my intentions going.
Yeah, and how you may have thought it would be. So it was almost like the intentions or anticipations or potentially even expectations of what Sedona, the pilgrimage would be as a whole, and then how you experienced it.
So yeah, I thought Sedona because I we had just gotten back from pilgrimage. So oh, it's like blurring the lines a bit, but
Absolutely.
I felt Sedona would be really more like rooted, like sh root chakra, like mm. But funnily enough, it kind of was more heart. Like it kind of was like a continuation almost. I
Of
mean, it definitely, yeah, I mean, it wasn't on like obviously it's not the same place and it's definitely has its different vibes. It's but yeah, it felt almost like a continuation of exploring that heart, that sort of higher heart space for me. And also divine feminine. Although it was definitely the land itself felt more masculine, and maybe I'm a little more comfortable in that energy. But it did feel like in my journey, it was like a continuation of that divine feminine exploration that I've kind of been seeking for myself. And I think what I wrote when you gave me this question earlier was like, what did you think before you went? And I was like, or what were you before Sedona? And I was like, human. That's all I wrote. Just that's why I was laughing so hard because I'm like, this galactic connection, like, be it aliens, it's like people notice in my work. So it's not just like me picking up on it. And yeah, that exploration of that cosmic soul even further, like it was like I was connecting to the planets before obviously I have my connections through that way, but like feeling into like that ancient soul being has been really neat and more connection to that as I move through the world. And like just magic, like the intention of bringing magic into the daily because we all know life can get a little, I'm a double earth sign and my big three, so it gets sometimes, I can get into like the real earthly 3D rut, but that's definitely not the case after a pilgrimage. It's like like holding space for others to kind of touch into these little moments that maybe we got in the physical realm, but bringing that in the quantum field, like into the community I'm like plopped in right now has been neat just to hold that space and to bring like that little piece of magic, even if it's just for like a little afternoon. It's like transporting people out of that sort of daily 3D but in the ancient cosmic ways. Yeah.
Hmm. I love that. Thank you. Kim, other Kim.
Sorry, I do have a bit of ADD. So what was the general question again?
I knew it. I was like, do you want me to repeat the question?
Yes, please.
I love it. So, what were your impressions or potential expectations, or what did you think the pilgrimage to Sedona would be versus how you experienced it?
hmm I think that I didn't really have huge expectations. I think that I had absolutely no idea what I was getting myself into. Like, am I joining a cult in Sedona? Like, what are we going to be doing? Will I get out of Sedona? So I think it was just very much unknown for me, but I was definitely excited about the opportunity. And then I think coming to Sedona, it was like almost immediately I just such a nurturing community that it was really nice just to be able to be with that community that was nurturing and caring and had your back on everything. Um, and I think Sedona was just a really good chance to be with the land and have somebody that's guiding you and taking you to all these beautiful places and all these fantastic places to eat. And I think that coming back, I definitely feel more confident in myself. Like, hey, I can do something that's really scary and I have no idea what I'm getting myself into, and I can come out just fine. So that's pretty awesome. Also, I had no idea that vegan food was like so delicious. So I started ordering a lot of meat alternatives and they are so delicious. So just like a chance to even explore new food and hang out with new people and have this kind of sisterhood, like we were saying. And I think that I also went in there because I felt like my energy had been so stuck for so many years because I'd been dealing with my sister's illness and all the troubles that came with that. So my energy was very focused there, and just kind of moving my energy into a new era of, hey, we can make changes, we can do things, we can have fun. Like, this is our time now. So Sedona was great. I loved it. I'd go back tomorrow.
Oh. Beautiful. Well, and we can always go there in our hearts too. Like a reminder. And I love that it's left that impression. So going to the land as well, and we've kind of chatted about this earlier, but what was your favorite place that we went to and why? And we were on the land so much. We were like primarily out in nature most of the time, and we were going to all of these different places. But what was your favorite place or favorite experience on the land, and why? Karen.
My favorite place was that weird little wooded area on our way to the airplane cave. Because honestly, we were not that far ahead of you guys. We really weren't. And it took you like 20 minutes to get to us. And we were convinced we got zapped into another realm because it was so out of place. Like that should not have been there at all. And just everything about it was so bizarre, but it was perfect. It was like just that one little bit of Alberta in the middle of Arizona that you would never have expected to find. And the time warp was out of control because we sat there and we were just like, where are they? Where are they? Like, what's going on? Like, why are they? And then you showed up and you were like, where did you go? And we were like, what do you mean? And it was the best break in probably my least favorite moment of the trip, because I was so concerned physically about myself that I wasn't appreciating the surroundings. And that brought me back to why I went to Sedona. And it was a connection, and it was a memory, and it was a bright spot in the middle of a hot frickin' hike. And I'll always have that. I'll have that feeling, and I'll have the memory, and I'll have the visuals, and I'll have just everything about it. It was perfect.
And is it, before you said that, I got a flash of that place, because it didn't, you're right, it didn't feel like it belonged where we were. So it was this hike to Subway Cave and almost this otherworldly forest in Sedona. And I feel like you may have went into another dimensional space with Kim.
Like I don't know if anybody else saw it except for me and Kim, but there was this weird little, it looked like a curtain of leaves. You know what I'm talking about? And it looked like a doorway in the middle of a cave. But if you had to, it was like a cave behind a waterfall. Like you would have had to have gone past it to discover what it was. And we were both like, it was staring at that going like, I wonder where it goes. I wonder where it leads. So yeah, it was insane. And I don't think anybody else saw it, because by that time everybody else was like, we gotta go. But yeah.
Oh, well, thank you. And that reminder of like being in the moment and to see where you were and experience it. Well, we'll go to Kim Gong now, of course, because you were there together in the world. But what was your favorite place that we went to and to be on the land and why?
I was gonna say, I think that portal was gone even when we came back. I'm not sure it was the Veil Cave was there on the way return flight of whatever time we clapped. That was definitely a highlight, but I have to put myself back at the Peace Stupa. Like,
Mm.
I don't know what energy that was. I mean, I was speaking to a mentor there. I was almost abducted by a crew of elderly ladies. Um,
You had a gong with you as well.
I had a gong. The medicine wheel felt very significant, and it was like a layering of the indigenous with like um spiritual heritage, but also with there was like some significance for me for Chinese medicine that's alchemized into like some talks to like spread my visibility a bit in that. So like there was a lot happening for me at the Peace Stupa, like,
Mm.
and then the forest played me a sound bath, and like I feel like I was it Buddha, like I can't explain to you the energy. It was like Buddha, it was like Kuan Yin, it was Cheriklo. It was like that space was just like holding container for me. And I mean, it was just the peace I felt in my heart there. It's very fitting for the name. So I
Mm.
feel like that's maybe how I got that name. But also the little Hansel and Gretel was amazing. So I don't want to discount that because that was sick and I have no idea how we portaled to there or we sat there, it felt like for so long. And it was like, I'm sure it was like moments, but it felt like, you know, days. It was so strange. Such a cool little like portal in the whole trip. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it did change when you walked into the forest. Everything changed. And I love that you're calling it Hansel and Gretel. No, nobody was harmed or lost. Thank you. Kim, what about yourself? What was your favorite place that we went to and why?
I mean, I don't know that we could have gone to a bad place because even when we were hanging out at door 7, everybody was just having a pretty good time. So I don't think there is a bad place to go with this group. But I really did like, I can't think of what it's called, but the place we went swimming.
Oh, Oak Creek
Oak
Canyon.
Creek Canyon is just so beautiful there, and it just feels like such a magical little Narnia space. It really felt magical. It
Mm,
was very nice there. So everywhere was good, but that was probably the prettiest for me.
oh, thank you. There's so many beautiful places there. And for people that haven't been to Sedona, or if you've seen pictures, it is like being in the desert and you've just got all of these mountains and cactus. But where Kim had mentioned Oak Creek Canyon is this beautiful oasis. That's the best way to describe it, that you would never anticipate being there, where it has the water, where it has the trees, where it literally is just this mystical oasis that is real. It's not a mirage. It exists there and maybe 10, 15 minutes outside of Sedona City Center. I have to say that being with you ladies opened up my eyes in so many different ways of being more aware of our environments, being mindful of our environments, being mindful that I might be a little bit of a risk taker in my hiking and don't like just throw caution to the wind, which you can't do when you've got sisters that you are on a journey with. So after you ladies left, I continued to be in the land and explored, but I was looking at it from the eye. You were all with me. So I was there and doing hikes. I'm like, oh, no, 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 this one's not going to work because you literally, well, not literally, but like in spirit, you were there with me. And it was like, oh, okay, we're not going to do this one. I'll do this, but like we would not do this as a group. So that was so wonderful. Yeah, we have such a special sisterhood. Like everybody um just melded together so beautifully, and to be in that space or to co-create that space together was so beautiful. So we'll do one more question. And I did actually do this with the ladies from Avalon when we did our integration call. But since you have been to the land, you have, and some of you are still bringing it with you, in your sneakers, sprinkling the sand wherever wherever you wander. However, you've brought Sedona and those frequencies and those energies into your cellular encodement, if we want to say that. You have that in your heart. You have seen it not only with your eyes, but you have felt it and you have been there. And in that sense, you also become a messenger for the land. You become an oracle for the land. You become a conduit that bridges Sedona to others in your own way. So if you were to be the oracle of Sedona, if you were to be the voice of Sedona through your voice, through your experience, if Sedona had a message to share with others, what would that be? And please don't overthink this. This is an opening to the heart space to receive. It could be a word, it could be a specific message, but what would Sedona's message be to others? What does Sedona want to share with others? Karen, we are starting with you. We're going to keep going in our circle.
I would say that the message for me was just take the leap. Mm. Whether it be metaphorical or physical, just do it. And because you never know how it's going to turn out, ever. Mm. And for something that wasn't for something that I wasn't comfortable with, it was life-changing. Mm-hmm. So thank you for bringing this to me.
And thank you for that beautiful message. Take the leap. Thank you, love. Kim D, if Sedona had a message to convey to others, what would it be?
Ooh, not small.
No.
I'd say Sedona would like to say, even though there is blood in the water, that's the alchemy.
Very, what I want to say profound. Even though there's blood in the water, there's alchemy. Beautiful. Thank you. So we've got take the leap. Even though there's blood in the water, that's alchemy. Kim, if Sedona had a message to share with others, what would it be?
I think it's kind of hard to follow up on the last two answers, unfortunately, but I think Sedona's message is probably that everybody's welcome. I think that it's just there's so many different cultures and they all just kind of mesh together so nicely, and it's just such a welcoming place. I definitely, if anyone gets a chance to go to Sedona, I would highly recommend it.
It does feel welcoming. Thank you. And perhaps that is because it's a convergence. So many people from all over the world go there. It's such an eclectic space.
And even for the aliens, welcoming for the aliens and the spirits and the humans.
Yes. It's this gateway or way station for for all beings to come. And that's interesting when you start to look at sacred sites or power centers on the world, because that's what they are. So even this Sedona code card, like, look at that. It's like, welcome. When I feel into Sedona for a message to share with others, it's similar to yours actually, Kim, of all are welcome, and even like being yourself. Come, all are welcome, come as you are, be as you are. Because I feel like it wants that of us when we go there. It doesn't want the masks. It doesn't want, like, flap. It's just like, come be raw, come be real, come be in the lounge, come be yourself, and you are welcome. And to do the flip, because y'all did the message for others. So is that message similar for you? Karen, if Sedona had a message for you, is it take the leap? Is it the same? Has it changed? What's Sedona's message for you?
I wasn't expecting a message for me.
Yeah.
For me, Sedona, the message was, I'm stronger than I think I am.
Oh,
Like, I thought I was strong, but this gave me a whole new level of internal strength. So
beautiful. Kim, what about you? Kim Gongs.
Yes, yes. Is the message for me from Sedona? For me? For little me?
For you.
Yeah, like so much alchemy, I feel like, in the field there. And maybe that's what the blood in the water is, like, similar to like what you and Kim P say, is to, like, yeah, like, bring everything. Bring, like, the ugly, the tired, the old, the wrinkly parts of yourself. Bring it all. Like, it wants all the dirty bits. That's what makes it awesome, right? And that's what makes us awesome. That's what makes me awesome. And I think that's, like, sharing that forward and working with women as we age into the more crone times, like, not for all of us, but it's for some of us. Um, like, how beautiful is that? Just bring it all, because that's the alchemy. That's the beauty.
And that's what it wants. Like, I love how you're saying, because it's like, yeah, like, it's just like, that's what it wants. And yeah, I will stop. Thank you, lovely. Kim, what is Sedona's message for you?
That's a hard one. I think maybe it was kind of saying, like, Peace Stupa saying, leave your burdens here and then carry on with your life, and a little bit lighter, and keep finding the joy and the magic in the world, because I think Sedona really shows you that magic a little bit more easier than you see it in the rest of life.
I love that. Thank you. What beautiful messages, like, for the collective, and then to even bring that to you. So thank you. Thank you, ladies. Oh, we could just, like, chat about this forever. So thank you for being part of our little podcast edition. Thank you for listening to today's episode. And before you go, I'd like to offer you an opportunity for reflection and contemplation. Was there anything that came up in this episode that left you feeling inspired, or that you can use as you move forward? Was there anything that came up in this episode that perhaps felt uncomfortable, maybe even triggered you? Was there anything in this episode that left you feeling seen and understood? Taking a moment to bring those reflections into the sacred space of the heart, or to journal. And I would love to hear how this episode has impacted you. You can send me your reflections on social media. And if you did enjoy this episode, please like, share, subscribe, spread the love with your friends. I appreciate you. Lots of love. Mwah!